Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you've been watching my videos, you know I've reviewed quite a few Parker Thatch bags, and over time I've noticed a pattern of a few questions that keep popping up. So today I'm going to address the top 5 most asked questions about Parker Thatch. Whether you're on the fence about making your first purchase or you're curious about what all the hype is about, this video is going to give you the answers you need. We're talking pricing, quality, those infamous straps or lack thereof, and everything in between. So let's dive right in. Question 1. Are Parker Thatch bags worth the money? Okay, let's start with the big one. The question I probably get asked more than any other: are Parker Thatch bags actually worth the money? Here's the reality. Parker Thatch bags are priced in the designer category. The price is high, and you need to expect that for this brand just as you would for Louis Vuitton or other well-known designer brands. Now, Parker Thatch does use premium materials, and you can genuinely feel that with many of their bags. If you have an opportunity to feel the materials in person, I highly recommend it because their leather is incredible. It's so soft. The suede is really nice, and the hardware is very high quality. Here's where people tend to complain: when their expectations do not match what they end up getting. For example, if they're wanting a lined bag and they get the Cross Your Heart Sling, which is an unlined bag. So this is super important. Make sure you check the product details before you purchase. Read the descriptions carefully so you know exactly what you're getting. Some of the products are made in the US, which leads to a higher price point. All of the heritage leather bags are made in the US. There has been some concern about transparency around where the bags are made. So if you have questions about a specific bag, I would encourage you to send customer service an email, and then you can decide for yourself whether or not the bag you're looking at is worth the money to you. Now, full transparency here, I have many Parker Thatch bags, and most of them I will say I have purchased secondhand. I don't love spending boatloads of money on bags, so for me, I prefer that option. Parker Thatch also does have sales throughout the year, which, if I'm going to shop directly from their site, that's when I do it. If there's a bag you absolutely have to have, you love it, you've loved it for a long time, you've thought about it, and you're still dying to have it, that's where I'd say it's worth it to just spend the money. Get exactly what you want, and you'll probably have it forever as long as you take care of it. That said, there are a lot of places where you can buy Parker Thatch bags secondhand. Poshmark, The Real Real, and Facebook also has some buy and sell groups. They're all great options if you want to save money but still get that Parker Thatch quality. Question 2. What is the quality of Parker Thatch bags like? All right, question number 2, let's talk quality. Because pricing is one thing, but if the quality doesn't match up, then none of it matters, right? The materials that Parker Thatch uses are really nice. I would say that they are as expected for the price point. They really do a great job selecting the materials. The leather is beautiful, the suede is lovely, and the canvas options have that premium feel. Here's where they fall off a bit. It's their quality control. Sometimes you have bags that have a scratch or a cut or something that shouldn't be there given the high-end nature of this bag. And it's something that if they want to remain in the luxury category, they need to do a better job with, because you would not see these issues at a Louis Vuitton or a comparable designer brand. That level of quality control is part of what you're paying for in the luxury space. Now, I've had some of my Parker Thatch bags for several years, and I do not use them lightly. I have 3 kids, and I just don't have the option to be real gentle with my bags right now. And mine have held up beautifully. I would say they actually get better with age. Here's something really important that I've noticed. The older Parker Thatch bags are higher quality than the ones that they currently make. So that's another reason why I would strongly recommend you look into purchasing secondhand. Not only are you going to get a better price, but you also might end up with better quality. The craftsmanship on those earlier pieces just seems a step above what's coming out now. The materials are excellent, the bags age well and can handle real-world use, but quality control is inconsistent. If you're spending luxury prices, you should expect luxury level attention to detail, and Parker Thatch does not always deliver on that front. Question 3. Are Parker Thatch bags lined? Okay, this is a question I get all the time, so let me clear this up for you. Most of the Parker Thatch bags at this point are lined. They use different materials depending on the bag. Some of them have ultra suede lining and some of them have canvas. So the good news is that lining has become more standard across their collection. Now, there are some exceptions, and they're designed that way on purpose. The Cross Your Heart Sling and Sidekick Sling are both unlined, and that's because it allows them to be more squishy and to be worn real close to your body versus having a structured bag. So, if you want the slouchy body hugging fit, the lack of a lining is actually a feature and not a flaw. If you're concerned about whether the bag you're interested in is lined, they do have good interior photos on most of their product pages, so I would definitely check that out. You can usually see pretty clearly what the inside looks like. And if you're still not sure, send an email to customer service, or honestly, ask in the comments below and I can try and figure out the answer for you. Lining is much more common in Parker Thatch bags now than it used to be, which is great. Just pay attention to the product photos and know that if a bag is unlined, it's usually for a specific design reason. Question 4. Why don't Parker Thatch crossbody or sling bags come with straps? Alright, this is probably one of the biggest drawbacks about Parker Thatch, and honestly, I completely understand the frustration here. Here's an interesting piece of history. When Parker Thatch started out, the bags initially did come with a strap. However, part of their business model evolved to become all about mixing and matching. You can pair different straps with different bags and really make it personalized. That's part of what makes this brand fun and unique. Unfortunately for the consumer, that means an added price, which is not cheap. Crossbody straps or shoulder straps range from $100 and up to close to $300. So yeah, it adds up really quickly, and I totally get why people feel frustrated about this. Now here's the thing. If the bag did come with a strap, then when you start buying multiple bags, you may end up with the same strap over and over again. So from a practical standpoint, especially if you're a collector who wants the variety, the separate strap system does make some sense. That said, I do wish they had a better solution. Maybe you could get a discount for a strap on your first purchase or something along those lines rather than just charging such a high price for the bag and then requiring you to also buy a separate strap. It feels like a lot to ask from customers who are already spending money on a premium product. The modular system is fun if you're into customization and you own multiple bags, but it's an expensive proposition. Just make sure you budget for the strap when you're planning your purchase because a crossbody bag without a strap isn't all that useful. Question 5. How is Parker Thatch's customer service and return policy? Last but definitely not least, let's talk about customer service and returns. And I'm going to be really honest with you because this is a big area of customer complaint. The return policy is only 14 days and products have to be unused with tags intact. So, in the era of online shopping, this is not a great return policy. You can barely even take the bag out of the box before you're locked into keeping it. Here's where things get really frustrating. You can see in some of the Parker Thatch videos that they get annoyed with some of the questions that customers ask, which is a huge bummer. These are legitimate questions from people who are spending hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars on your products. This is an area where Parker Thatch really, really needs to do better if they want to keep their customers happy. Sometimes it seems like they care more about sending products to influencers rather than keeping their paying customer base happy. And sometimes the owners feel out of touch with reality and out of touch with what their customers actually care about. There needs to be much more transparency on the website regarding where products are made. Many people are surprised to find out they don't really create a whole lot of their bags in California anymore. If you're paying premium prices, partially because you think you're supporting American made products, you deserve to know exactly where your bag is coming from. Look, I have a lot of Parker Thatch bags, but I can't sit here and pretend that customer service and company culture aren't issues. If you're going to shop with them, go in with realistic expectations. Read the return policy carefully, ask your questions up front, and don't expect warm and fuzzy customer service if something goes wrong. It's disappointing because the products themselves can be great, but the customer experience often doesn't match the premium price point. All right, there you have it. The top 5 most asked questions about Parker Thatch bags, all answered in one place. To recap, yes, they're pricey. And whether they're worth it depends on what you value. Quality is generally good, but not flawless. Not all the bags are lined, so check before you buy. Straps are sold separately, which is annoying but supposedly about customization. And customer service is hit or miss, so protect yourself with photos and documentation. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Drop a comment below and let me know. Do you own a Parker Thatch bag? What's been your experience? Or are you thinking about buying one for the first time? I'd love to hear from you. And if you have any other burning questions like this, let me know. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.